Hi, I decided to do my case study on my papa who had Parkinson's disease. So, my papa acquired Parkinson's disease in his early 40s, and he got diagnosed about 10 years earlier than the average patient and passed away at the age of 60 because of it. This is the main reason I wanted my presentation to be focused on him. My papa was a great influence on me mainly because I was alive to see him through all the stages of his diagnosis. He was also a very successful man. He owned two businesses and even built his own house. He was just overall very inspiring and is the main reason I plan to focus on Parkinson's research in the future. So, there are four main symptoms when it comes to Parkinson's disease. That would be tremors, rigidity, bradykinesia, and postural instability. Tremors are involuntary shakes, mainly in your hands, feet, or head. Rigidity, which is stiffness of your body or resistance to movement. Bradykinesia slows down your movement, which makes everyday tasks kind of difficult. And postural instability makes you have issues with balance and coordination, and that leads to an increased risk of falls. My papa struggled mostly with tremors, rigidity, and postural instability. Parkinson's is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder that is typically acquired by males in their 60s. It has a big effect on movement. This is caused by the loss of brain cells that produce dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical messenger that is essential for controlling motion. Parkinson's also causes a motor speech disorder called dysarthria and can also affect pragmatic language skills. Dysarthria affects motor control of speech muscles, can make you speak in a monotone voice, make you have reduced loudness when you speak, have hoarseness and breathiness when you speak, have imprecise articulation, and have rapid or rushed speech. Parkinson's also causes language or cognitive issues. My papa struggled with many language and cognitive issues as his diagnosis progressed, some consisting of word retrieval difficulties, reduced grammar complexities, and difficulty initiating speech. Parkinson's had a huge impact not only on my papa's life, but also on everyone's life around him. A few years into his diagnosis, he was unable to keep his business and he had to sell his family home. He also couldn't drive anymore. As his symptoms progressed, my papa had 24/7 care. My family was watching him, and he also had a home health aide that came to help him with his everyday tasks, such as getting out of bed, showering, eating, and more. As you can imagine, this can be dehumanizing. Later in his life, my papa began to get frustrated and not want care anymore. Towards the end of his life, the stuttering and issues with communication got so frustrating that I only remember him saying a few words to me. My papa went to something called adult daycare. He went to Sarah's Place, which was a day program where he went to do speech therapy. I thought the way that they went about the day program was very interesting because it was almost like a school for adults. They would pick my papa up on a bus and take him to the school to do speech therapy in more humanizing ways and fun for adults, like playing cards or poker, for example. Because of his motor issues and stiffness, my papa had issues with walking. He fell a lot, so we went to physical therapy tri-weekly to work on gaining strength. One of the days, he went to water therapy to put less stress on his body, and occupational therapy to focus on his fine motor skills. There's no cure for Parkinson's, but there are some advancements for treatments, including stem cell therapy. As I said, there is no cure for Parkinson's disease, but there are medical advancements, some being medications, surgeries, complementary therapies, and stem cell therapy. With stem cell therapy, scientists use a type of cell called a stem cell, which can be turned into different types of cells. A common approach is using induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs, which are made by reprogramming a patient's own mature cells, like skin or blood cells, back into a stem cell state. These stem cells are then carefully guided in a lab to become specific brain cells that produce dopamine. The newly created dopamine producing cells are then transplanted into a part of the brain called the basal ganglia, which is where the dopamine producing cells have been lost. The hope is that these new cells will survive, integrate into the brain, and start producing and releasing dopamine, just like the original cells did, which should help restore motor function.